everyone, and welcome to the Sea of Thieves preview stream for the Arena, where we're going to be talking all about the deep dive into the Arena mode itself. I'm joined here by executive producer Joe Neat and senior designer Shelley Preston, who are going to be taking your questions right at the end of this, so please do get thinking of some questions. Just as a heads up, we won't be showing live gameplay. We're saving that for TwitchCon in Berlin this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So please do tune in for that. There'll be lots over the 2 days. But first of all, let's get right into the meat of it with the content update. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Arena! An all-new competitive mode that lets you dive headfirst into the explosive action of Sea of Thieves, as you and your crew battle against 4 other teams of players, in pursuit of a glorious victory. In this frantic new mode, the Sea Dogs have created an arena in which you have to earn as much silver as you can, as you fight your way towards the top spot. And in the arena, you'll have to play smart to best your rivals. At the beginning of each contest, every crew is given the same set of maps that will lead them to the location of buried treasure. But finding the treasure first is only half the battle. You'll have to get it back to the Sea Dog's ship before you can reap the rewards. So while you can slaughter your way to victory, some tactical treasure hunting could prove very profitable. As you fend off attacks from other players, you'd be wise to keep a close eye on your ship too. Grab some planks and get ready to repair, as ships can now receive damage to their wheel, capstan, and masts. And if your ship sinks, your crew can kiss some of their silver coins goodbye. Battle hard and overcome your rivals, and you'll grow your reputation with the Sea Dogs. And as you sharpen your skills in the arena, you'll unlock a whole host of new cosmetics, including weapons, items, clothing, and a new ship livery. So if you're ready to show the world your best, then join us in the arena, part of the Sea of Thieves Anniversary Update, launching April 30th. Cheers!
You enjoyed that. I know we were super excited to show it to you. So I spoke just before there about how we are showing the first live gameplay of the arena at TwitchCon in Berlin.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so we're heading there this weekend. There's a bunch of the team going. Shelley's going. I'll be there. But you're there. Like loads of people there that are all going to be on the show floor. And we've got 20 booths. So, or 20 booths. One booth, 20 machines. We've not gone all in on the show. We are just TwitchCon, yeah. But so it's playable throughout. So you can kind of come along. You can join the queue because I'm sure there will be one and play. There's some machines we're going to be streaming from, some not. And it's basically just kind of the arena on repeat, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're super excited to see people playing and come. You know, if anyone's going there, come down and meet us.
Yeah, because we've obviously been playing with insiders. We've had the press here, but this is the first time we're going to be going out in the wild,
Absolutely,
watching people play, taking feedback, seeing kind of live footage of it and stuff. So that's very exciting.
We're going to be streaming to the Sea of Thieves channel, but the streamers and creators who come up to the booth can also stream to their own channels if they're on there. So please do get in touch if you're a streamer or creator and you're going to TwitchCon in Berlin and get a time for it to come and stream there.
Yeah.
So the arena, we've been talking about it in the dev update for a while, how it's been in with the insiders for quite a long time. Can you tell us how that kind of process went?
Yeah, I think it's
feedback?
been since February-ish that we've been in with insiders, and it's been fantastic because we wanted to get it in early. We wanted to test it because it's such a being competition and being all about players and how the matches kind of play out each time. It was really important to get that in front of real players.
I think we put it in on February the 14th. On Valentine's Day, don't you remember?
Oh yeah.
Because it was like, and it was proper trolling of our insiders because it's like, well, you can either play in, the arena for the first time and get in loads of trouble with your partner, or not. But I just remember on that and thinking, maybe could have planned that better.
But everyone loved it.
Yes,
see?
yeah.
Nice little link to Valentine's Day.
Nice.
But no, it's been really useful because we've been able to balance the gameplay, balance the mode, the points that you get for doing different things in the arena, the match structure, where players start. Tons and tons of valuable incredible stuff for us. It's been like one of the best things that we've done through Insiders. I think it will be in, it's in much better shape for when it goes live in Anniversary because of all of the help that we've had from the Insiders.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that if you are in the Insider programme and have helped us towards that.
Yeah, honestly, I think, previously, with previous updates, we haven't had as much time with kind of updates as we've been able to get with Insiders, right?
Yeah.
With launching the Insiders, getting anyone to opt in, getting stuff in early really allows us to learn so much more and get things into a much better state for when it goes live, right?
Yeah.
So I think the arena will be the first example of that. We've had so much feedback. It's been amazing, and just to see it evolve to kind of the experience it is now. Right.
And we have a video that we've prepared that's up next from Greg Mills, where he goes a little bit more into detail about that as well, some of the feedback we've got from Insiders and how that's changed the process. So without further ado, let's roll the video.
Hello and welcome to another Behind the Scenes on Sea of Thieves. Today I'm joined by Creative Director Greg Mills, who's going to talk to us all about the arena. So where did the idea for Arena come from?
Right from the start, even in the really, really early days of Sea of Thieves when we started off with the prototype, as soon as we put cannons on the ships and you could actually shoot at each other, it was almost straight away, it was like this one day could be a mode by itself. We even gave it a name at the time. I think it was called the Sea of Blood or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously a little bit too violent for now, but it was obviously it was going to be something. But for a start, we put it to one side, even though we knew it had a lot of potential. Or we felt we had to kind of fulfill the main vision of the game first, which was like this kind of emergent world of adventure. In the kind of back of our mind, we always thought there will be a time for this kind of competitive mode.
What were some of the difficult design choices we made with the arena?
I think the hardest thing for us, or certainly the thing that made us think the most, was trying to create a competitive experience that feels like a Sea of Thieves experience. So even though it's competitive and players are trying to win, we didn't want to lose the tone. We didn't want to lose the fun that players can have. We didn't want to lose the kind of range of stories that could come out of it. Effectively, we kind of condensed the adventure experience down into kind of a very focused mode. So in adventure mode, players get given maps and they go after treasure. In the arena, all the crews get the same maps, so immediately you've got that competitive nature that people are trying to dig up chests, but these are kind of chests that everybody can see. And along the way, obviously you come into conflict with the other ships. You kind of get this kind of flow of play that goes from like we're after chests to we're going to try and steal someone else's chest, to we're trying to cash our own chests, into we haven't got any chests, they haven't got any chests, we'll just have a fight anyway.
And so what were some of the changes we made from adventure mode to the arena to accommodate it?
We found early on that players encountering skeletons on islands didn't really work. If another crew beat you, it's like, yeah, we got outplayed. If you lost because some random skeletons appeared with a TNT barrel and blew you up and you lost all your chests, that was considered, it just felt unfair.
Yeah.
So we removed the AI.
And there was some changes to the death flow, right?
Yes, there was. We found that players basically watching a black screen isn't fun. And viewers watching someone playing on a black screen isn't fun either. And there's also like kind of technical issues around the loading time going to the ghost ship and loading times coming back. In a competitive mode, if with a range of hardware on PC or Xbox, if somebody is coming back from the ghost ship faster than you are after death, that's just not fair. So, which is a key thing we kept a very close eye on in every part of the arena is this fair? Like, where do the ships start? Is that fair? The way that we give players maps, is it fair? Because if you can blame your own inability or lack of strategy, that's okay. If you're blaming the game because of where you've started or the time it takes you to respawn versus someone else, again, it's just not fair.
What's interesting about the arena and the times that I've played it already is that it still feels like anyone can win at any particular point. Like people go up and down that leaderboard, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like you're saying random. Like it doesn't feel like it's because of randomness.
No, I think how you operate as a crew and how you work as a strategy will win the day. And being as everyone's getting the same maps and everyone's ships sails at the same speed and everyone's got the same weapons and the same power, the more you play, you start to see this kind of skill gap start to close. So I think that's why you start seeing 5 evenly matched crews just naturally turns into a very competitive, very close fought experience. And as you say, anyone can win, and you could like cash a couple of chests in the dying seconds and go from like last to first. And when that happens, it feels great, but it also feels fair.
And so we've very much embedded this in the Sea of Thieves world, the arena, and part of that is the Sea Dogs. So who are the Sea Dogs?
They are the greatest pirates ever to exist in the Sea of Thieves. So we've got DeMarco and Lasedi Singh, who are the founders of the Sea Dogs, and also the son and daughter of the greatest pirate ever, who's mysteriously called the Pirate Lord. So they see themselves as the best pirates ever, and now they're giving everybody else a chance to test their mettle in the arena and kind of take their place amongst the greats along with the Sea Dogs. So they're basically laying down a challenge to all pirates out there. It's like, come and test your skills against other pirates, and maybe one day you can kind of join the Sea Dogs Hall of Fame.
Yeah, sweet. And they are another trading company in the world, right? So how does that work?
It was really important that when we introduced them, as part of it feeling like it belongs in Sea of Thieves and not this standalone mode, that it's another trading company. It's another way you can reach Pirate Legend, and it's got its own kind of progression. So as you play in the arena, you progress like the other companies. There's kind of commendation and cosmetics to win. And they've also built the what was that kind of central arch that people would pass by and maybe sail under, has now been taken over by the Sea Dogs. So they built this kind of tavern on there, and that's where all the crews that play the arena meet up, have a bit of friendly banter with the players you're going to be playing against before the contest, and then you kind of go into the arena, you kind of have a competition, and then you come back into the tavern with the same crews. So again, it could be a bit of friendly banter, and maybe a bit of argument as to kind of who won, who should have won, kind of the fun that hopefully you've had together.
What does the arena mean for Sea of Thieves?
I think first and foremost, it's a new way to play. It's almost like a known playing time. Adventure, going on adventure is great, but often you don't know how long you're going to be out there, and sometimes you could look at the clock and you've wild hours away. Most of the time that's great. That's what the game's built on, the sense of going out there and it's you against the world, and you may be victorious, you may not. Whereas the arena is a way for players to come in and go, oh, I've only got half an hour, or I've only got an hour to play. Each contest only lasts a certain amount of time, and you're guaranteed to get a reward at the end of it. So whether you come first or last, everyone will get a reward. So it's a more guaranteed way to play, both in terms of the amount of time and the reward you get.
So, well, if you're in the mood for sinking ships, Arena is due on April 30th, part of the anniversary update, and thank you very much for your time. Cheers.
That was insightful. So, as you might have seen, the press were here last week, and the articles went out this morning, so I'm sure a bunch of people saw that on the internet, all the stuff about the anniversary update. Can you tell us a little bit about how that went?
Pretty good, I think, judging by the articles and everything that came out, right?
Yeah, it was super cool having people here able to play, like, because there's nothing like actually being able to play what, you know, we're not just talking about things, you can play them, you can see them. Like some of the arena matches were really kind of hype and competitive, right, Joe?
They were, yes. It definitely, I don't know, brings out different emotions in you as a player, doesn't it, to the normal Sea of Thieves kind of adventure.
But I think that was really cool to see, and then just being able to take the press on the first Tall Tale instalment as well, and just see them figuring that out and solving that and completing the Tall Tale. It was really satisfying to watch. It was really cool.
Yeah, because it's interesting here, isn't it, where we have the bank of screens so we can see everyone when they're playing. Obviously, like you folks were in playing with them, but when we put it out to insiders and stuff, we don't really get to see reactions on this. So this is kind of the first time we're seeing outsiders play the game and play Arena and play Tall Tales.
Oh, that insiders and outsiders.
We've got the insiders, outsiders.
It's true, it's good. Yeah. Good way of putting it. But no, I think it's. I know it was an amazing week, though, wasn't it?
Really good, yeah.
But I think we went into it with quite a lot of confidence, right? Because there's a lot of stuff in this update, and it's all really good. And we've been testing it with our insiders, and we've been getting loads of feedback and improving stuff. And so it was the way we had it set out, right? Play the Tall Tale first, experience that adventure, and then go into these like competitive kind of arena modes and stuff. It was just like most of the day was spent playing the game, right?
It was super fun. Like I said, like watching everybody play and getting to just communicate through like just being able to play it was really cool. And of course, because we've like passed our 1 year anniversary now, like people already kind of know what Sea of Thieves is as well. So yeah, it's just great to just build on that foundation.
So they played like 3 arena matches over the time that they were here. What are some of your favourite moments from that? I know you were excited.
Mine was probably like the one where there weren't as many crews, so I sat out one and I watched on the bank of monitors. I watched Joe get extremely competitive.
I warned people before, so this is genuinely something I've only really discovered in the last few years, that I'm actually really competitive. I always thought I was like a bad winner but a good loser, but I'm just so competitive. So I am still a bad winner. If I win, I'll let you know it. But yeah, it really brings it out in me. Like, I don't know if it's just the crew factor and stuff, and the fact that you've got people and you're communicating through the headset and stuff, but it's great. And everyone that was clustered round the kind of screens watching and listening to everyone, you could hear them laughing and stuff when things happened. And it was the competition, though, it was, right? Like, so the way we set it up, each crew, you had 5 crews each day, and each one had a rare kind of captain, and then you had journalists within that crew. And so just those sessions it was competition between each of us, right?
Yes.
Like the different like captains and the crews, and so yeah, it was so much fun. I think just to see it, and the noise and all of the new stuff that's in there, the harpoons and even the ship destruction, like seeing that mast come down when you manage to take a ship down that's heading away from you, like that is just such an amazing moment. Right? I like that. You always feel so skillful when you do that. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was an epic moment in the prototype, and it's an epic moment in this, and that is a good segue into the next video that we're showing here with Andrew Preston, where he talks a bit more about the expanded ship damage that we're bringing in Anniversary.
Hello and welcome to another behind the scenes on Sea of Thieves. Today I'm joined by senior designer Andrew Preston, and we are talking about all the changes we've made to ship damage. So what are some of the changes?
We've added damage to the masts, to the capstan, to the wheel, and then we've changed the way that the damage to the hull works as well.
And how does that change? How has the damage to the hull changed?
So before, when players shot at the hull, it created a single damage hole at a single kind of fill rate and size. So you kind of got these awkward situations where if you were kind of at a stalemate, maybe both ships were anchored down next to each other and you were shooting at them on the same side. Eventually your cannonballs were not doing any damage because there was already holes there and they weren't kind of changing in any way. So now if you hit a cannonball into the side of the ship and you hit it more than once, the holes grow bigger in size and the water fill rate that fills into the ship's hull gets faster as well.
And does it take longer to patch it up?
Yeah, that's right. So each hole has, we have like different kind of levels of hole, and the first ones are kind of reserved for like if you kind of scrape your ship against like the sand or like maybe kink against like a sea rock or something. They're like the smallest holes, and they kind of repair within like a couple of seconds. Cannonball holes are the same, but then if you hit them again, they grow bigger and they take longer and longer to repair. When you run down to the bottom of your ship and you're looking at all the holes in the ship from a battle, you can kind of prioritize which holes you want to go repair, because those ones are going to be the biggest risk to the crew.
So what are some of the changes we've made to, like you said, the capstan and the wheel? How does that work?
Yeah, they're really cool because the hull stuff, whilst we've kind of expanded what we have before, players have already kind of seen that, and it's kind of an extension of that, whereas the capstan, the mast and the wheel, they're all brand new types of damage that we've done. So if players kind of shoot and target the capstan, then it can break pegs off the capstan, and it even has a chance of like lowering their anchor as well during combat. Then we have the wheel. So if you target the wheel, it breaks the pegs off the wheel, and then it slows the movement of the wheel down. You might be mid-battle and be like, oh, we need to come prioritize this now because we can't get the agility we need in the battle. And then the mast is kind of the showpiece mechanic where you kind of hit the mast 3 times and the whole mast kind of tumbles down and hits the ship and puts this big impulse on the ship when it collides with the ship. And then players have to kind of winch up the pulley ropes to kind of resurrect the mast and then patch up the base of it to kind of get it working functionally again.
And how do you repair the capstan and the wheel?
It's really cool. Basically, all the repairs are still done via the wooden plank. So it's the same resources that we already have in the game, but they kind of slot and lerp into the capstan. So it's like the pegs become like the wooden planks instead of like the old school like pegs that you had there when the ship first spawned. So after you've been in a battle, you can kind of look back at the ship and you can see the wear and tear from the battle. It's really, really cool.
Scale. And this was stuff that we had in the Unity-based prototype, right?
Yeah.
How has that changed since then, or has it changed since then?
Nothing's really changed from the Unity prototype. We kind of planned out all of these systems before, had them all working in the Unity prototype. We had the mast collapsing, we had the wheel being broken and the capstan. There was subtle kind of changes we had to make to the balance to make it work within Unreal. Like in Unity, the mast went down in a single hit, whereas now it takes 3 hits. So it's not quite as punishing as it was, but the core systems actually, they just came straight across. The same design mentality and the same kind of raw implementation.
And so how do you foresee this changing ship-to-ship combat and the power plays there?
There's just a lot more things to think about. There's a lot more strategy. When you're face-to-face with another ship, you can have those genuine decisions when you're sat on the cannon. Do we want to kind of pummel the hull, or do we want to take out the mast to slow them down, or do we want to take out the guy on the wheel and make sure that they can't turn so we can like do laps around them, or should we target the capstan so it might be a chance that we can like stop them in place? Like, there's just a lot more different levels of strategy now. It's a lot of a kind of deeper combat experience.
And how does that play into Arena?
With Arena, a big part of the game mode is ship-to-ship combat. So when other players have kind of got chests on board, you can think about dropping the capstan or the mast to try and slow them down now rather than taking them out completely. There's just a lot more different levels of strategy to how you kind of go about taking on another crew in Arena.
Sweet. Well, I think everybody's really excited to get their hands on this expanded ship damage when Anniversary comes out on April 30th. Cheers.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you very much, past Andy, for that. That was very, very insightful as well. So we did say we're going to take questions from the chat, and we'll be getting questions in, but please do get your questions into the chat there, and we'll get them up on screen. Hopefully try and answer as much of them as possible. We do have like half an hour for chat question and answer here. So
it's going to be awkward if there aren't any questions, isn't it?
Please do ask them, because then we'll just sit in silence and stare at you the whole time. So Chris Robotham on YouTube has already asked, will the voice chat always be disabled with other crews?
So voice chat's not disabled with other crews, so you can always hear your own crew wherever you are in the world, and then other crews are proximity based. That's the same across that. There may have been some issues in some insider builds, maybe that's why there's some confusion there, but voice chat works the same in Adventure and in Arena.
Yeah. But it means, so if there's a crew somewhere else in the arena, you won't hear them, but if they're close
but if they're close, you will.
You will, right, yeah. So, if they sneak on board your ship, or if there's someone hiding out on an island, you might hear them and be like, oh, no.
So we've also got Dunbar Lad, I'm assuming it's Scottish there, on Twitch. Are you planning on making all boats available in the arena, or just galleons? And probably why did you choose that? That'd be good. We follow that up.
Yeah. I think, so we're starting with galleons, right? Like, that's the kind of quintessential Sea of Thieves experience. Love that word, by the way. But it's great. But it really is. It's like that core kind of experience of going out galleons, hunting treasure, kind of battling each other in this really high intensity mode.
It's that perfect kind of 4 players on a crew, manning the ship together.
Yeah, and you want to start with one thing and just make it as good as you can. And so for us, that's the kind of core experience. And then as we move forward with the arena, like, it's how do we grow and evolve? And we've got all of these tools, because there's some stuff that we're kind of not beginning with in there, like the Megalodon or Cursed Cannibals, even, because we took feedback from insiders, right, that wasn't the right thing.
Yeah, like we kind of actually conceived Cursed Cannibals with an eye on the future for the arena. We were thinking they would be great in there, but it really felt like the way that we'd got them in with random spawning barrels on islands, like, players really felt that it unbalanced the experience and that it was a bit too unfair. So we iterated on that. We tried some different things. We tried starting them on the ship, and in the end, like with everything with Sea of Thieves, if it isn't right, like, we'll take it out of the experience. We'll listen to the feedback.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll look at, like, is there a way that we can bring that back in a different way? And I think so. It's about start with the core. And I'd love that we've been iterating for 2 months in the with insiders on the arena to get that core experience right to launch with. And as we saw last week with the press visit, it feels great. Like, and when we go to TwitchCon, like, it is. Yeah. It's that one more go, one more kind of, like, it
Absolutely.
Really is. Like,
it's about making that mode a really solid representation of what we believe competition is in Sea of Thieves. And so for us, initially, it's galleons. It's that 4-player experience on galleons.
Yeah, but just like Sea of Thieves a year ago was the start for kind of Sea of Thieves. That adventure Sea of Thieves has been going for over a year now, right? And so, but now Arena starts, and it's now a platform, it's now a thing to grow. So we're now going to be looking at feedback, looking at what are the top things people want to prioritise, treating it very its own kind of platform, the same as kind of Adventure is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we see Arena and Adventure, they're both platforms that are going to grow. Like with Adventure, you've obviously got Tall Tales, and that's a platform that can grow as well inside Adventure. And with Arena, like we're really interested in kind of how we can add more competitive like structure, things like tournaments, things like that around the Arena mode. And like Joe said, just listening to feedback and what we can do to strengthen that mode.
Yeah.
Well, we've also got something in there that kind of works into that. So Reefer Love on Twitch says, will there be a quick match option in the Arena Tavern, or do you have to bring a crew in there? So I'm guessing it's hinting at matchmaking, right?
So it works in the same way as Adventure does, in that you can go in on like an open crew and you can match for people. You can go in on a closed crew and decide whether to invite people in or not. So if you really want to, you can be one person trying to take on like other people on a galleon by yourself. And it's really like about giving players the choice to play that they want to play. So you can matchmake in with other crews, or you can take your own crew in, either.
That's right. We've got ResHFN on Twitch says, is the Sea Dogs rep going to take away from Pirate Legend tags?
Yeah. So this basically the anniversary update takes us from 3 trading companies to 5. So the Sea Dogs is one and the Hunter's Call is the other. But basically it now gives anybody that's not yet made Pirate Legend the option of how they want to get there. So it's still it's 3 trading companies you have to get to level 50, but now there's because I'm obviously quite far progressed in 3 of the trading companies, not yet a legend, but not quite. But been busy. But I can almost guarantee that the Arena is going to be the one that I max out before any of the others as well, just because of like it really suits me as a player. You know, I could play Sea of Thieves right now at the weekend because that's when I get time. I get up early, I go and play for 3-4 hours of a morning or something. Whereas now I've got a kind of evening option with the Arena, right? That shorter play session, I can play half an hour. I'll probably end up playing it for the same amount of time. Yeah. Just because I'll keep
just
going.
Psychologically, you know that you could stop
exactly.
at any 24-minute interval.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've also kind of leading on from that. Pro Regret on Mixer says, how high is the rank for the Sea Dogs?
Yeah, so level 50, the same as the other. Or is it how high is Joe's rank?
That's it. Well, quite high in the insiders.
But yeah, it goes to level 50, the same as the other trading companies. And like Joe said, like you get to choose now which 3 you want, and for me, like that's really cool because it just gives people just different options of the way that they want to play to reach Pirate Legend.
And as you saw in the content update, there is the same unlocking those cosmetics as you work your way up and stuff. So it's exciting to work your way up there. Dark Fury 45 on Twitch says, will we see condensed crews where a ship could have more than the usual amount of players, such as 8 on a galleon?
So not at launch. At launch, it's a maximum of 4 players on your galleon. But like as we said, we're going to be looking at what we're doing in the future with Arena. I wouldn't say that like anything's kind of off the table like that, right?
I think there's a lot of room to experiment, isn't there? And try things for a limited amount of time and see how they land, whether that's in insiders or actually live with everyone. So yeah, there's loads of room for experimentation here.
I think like as we look to the future as well, we're definitely going to be looking to, as we said about putting the whole of Arena in insiders earlier, that experimentation, like because it is competition on a bigger scale with a lot of players, like we will want to do experiments like that in our insider program and see like with things like that how they go.
There you go. Awesome. So Captain Celerio on YouTube says, can we seamlessly enter and leave the Sea Dog Tavern while in adventure mode, and what does that process look like?
Short answer to that is no, you can't. So
you can visit the exterior of the
just
tavern.
Behind us here.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the Sea Dog Tavern in adventure. So it's there. It's in the world. We wanted it to feel a part of the world, because when you're playing arena sessions are in kind of, we've set up arenas in and around the world, right? So you'll recognise the islands. You'll recognise it's the same layout.
It's the same world.
Yeah. And so, but you load into the arena via the front end. So you have adventure or you have arena, and that you select arena, you choose your crew, or you choose to join a crew, and then you'll go into that tavern. And it's really just a place that starts and ends each arena session.
It's a social space. Like we wanted, like as we said, we wanted to do competition in the right way for Sea of Thieves, and obviously Sea of Thieves is all about being social. So bringing players together in this social space, it's kind of similar to how we did the Ghost Ship in Adventure Mode. Same kind of motivations where we think we can do interesting social social things with bringing players together. So you start together in that tavern, you play together, then you come back there afterwards.
Yeah, and so, but honestly, like we did discuss that, right? Around could you have this kind of seamless kind of way in and out, and it's like it is a significant amount of work to do this, just the way that everything's architectured. So it was like, do we think that that's the value is there to go and invest a ton of time in that? And it's like, what it really wasn't. It doesn't feel right for us now. Right.
And it kind of works like an outpost, right, when it's in the adventure mode, because you still have all the NPCs who are in the tavern when you go into arena mode, but they're outside the tavern for you there, so you can still interact with the same NPCs.
Yeah, like we thought it was important that you didn't have to go into the arena mode to buy the, like if you'd unlock some cosmetics perhaps in arena, but you didn't have the gold, and then you ticked over that gold in adventure, you could visit the tavern. It's all seamless, like. And in the same way, you can buy cosmetics from Adventure inside the tavern as well when you're in Arena. So we really want to make the two modes as kind of part of the same world as much as possible.
Yeah.
And this is always to challenge me. Kaizen Hyuga on YouTube says, are these new ship damage things only for the Arena, or will they become part of the main game?
They are all in,
Yeah.
but across Adventure, across Arena. So the masts collapsing, the different size holes, the harpoons as well, obviously. So all of that stuff.
And I think, like, as we look to the future, we talk about it as Adventure and as Arena as these two platforms, but there's so much crossover there, right? Like things that are going to enrich Adventure will also enrich Arena and vice versa.
Yeah, but some stuff might need just like
tweaking.
Tweaking or changing. Like it really depends. Each thing you bring in, some stuff just makes sense. Ship damage,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. Harpoons, absolutely. Even if they come in with one mode in mind, right? You think kind of that the ship damage stuff was kind of steered by Arena, right? And but it just makes sense across it all. And so it's each thing you just have to look at, because some stuff we thought would just be perfect. Cursed Cannibals in there, the way they worked in Adventure, you bring them into Arena, and it's like it's not quite feeling right. And it took a while to kind of figure out to kind of go through that feedback and figure out exactly why, right? And it's just really interesting that just as soon as you put a competitive lens on something,
it really changes things. I think like there's so much. There's emergence in Sea of Thieves, and that's a huge part of Arena as well. Like you don't know necessarily so the arenas are always the same, but there'd be a different one selected each time. Like you go in, so you don't know which one you're going to get. You get some different ship starting locations, and then the maps that you're going to get are going to be different. Where the X marks the spot on those maps is going to be different, and obviously the players you're playing with are different. But then there's so much like emergence through some of the systems, like you say, that just like with the Cursed Cannibals and stuff, that just when you put a competitive lens on things, makes people feel that it's unfair. So we have to have the right level of emergence in the right things in Arena. But it certainly is been a mind shift for us, right?
Yeah. Because we've spent 4 years preaching tools, not rules, emergence, and then it's like competition.
Yeah. It's like tools, not rules, but it has to be fair.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So, block 2K.
There are some rules. Like the score.
I think it's just block, or Blow 2K on Twitch says, how big is the map going to be compared to normal?
So there's different sized arenas with different numbers of islands in, and so essentially like it depends on which arena you're in. Some are really small, some are bigger. It's kind of hard to say like how big it is compared to normal, but a cluster of islands, like several at the biggest, I think there's maybe 7 or 8 islands encompassed in an area, and obviously depending on the arena and where those islands are laid out, they're slightly different.
And it's worth mentioning though again that it is the main map. So if you know the map as it stands at the moment, it's essentially like drawing a circle around
it's
an area.
It's basically the it's a bit more tonal than that.
I'm sorry.
The Devil's Shroud has crept in around these areas in a circular fashion, and closed off the outside. But it is the same world map.
But it stops at a certain distance. It doesn't just keep coming in, does it?
No.
That's a very different game mode.
But that'd be quite easy to do. No.
It's quite interesting.
And it's worth saying as well that the Devil's Shroud works in the same way it does in the main game as well.
Yes, if you sail, you can sail out, but your ship will take damage and eventually it will sink.
Which I managed to do 3 times in the press play test. So
nice.
That was nice.
Yeah, but I think the actual location stuff. So the game picks kind of in the background, so you don't know where you're going to be. Well, which kind of arena it's going to put you in and where your starting position is until you start, or what maps you get. So literally you jump straight in, and then it's like raise the anchor, drop the sails. Now look at the maps. Now where are we going? Where are the other ships? What's going on? it's just like that, isn't it?
Or if you're better than us, you could probably be a bit more strategic.
Maybe
about
not as
have
panicky.
One person check the map. One person check where you are.
Maybe. But it's cool because you're instantly like, okay, we're here. These are the islands. That's okay. It's that one. Like we're in that area.
And it does play out really differently as well, depending on what maps you've got and what arena you're in. So there is quite a difference in the size. So if you're in the tiny ones, obviously all the ships are on top of each other a lot more. But also in some of the bigger arenas, we had a play session, one of the play sessions we had last week, where there was one map that because everybody shares. That's really important, actually. Everybody shares maps in the arena, so the maps that you have are the same as everyone else will have. And there was one island that was chosen with like several X's on, and I don't know if you remember this one, and everybody just converged on it, and it basically lasted the entire match because nobody was able to get on because everybody was battling, and it was really interesting. It was just this whole battle over these same 6 chests for the whole time, and it played out really differently to stuff that we played before, because sometimes you get a ton of maps and everyone can kind of split off, or maybe you've got little hotspots of activity. So
because again, important to understand. So there's however many X's there is on a map. If it's the final map left of a kind of that have been delivered to players, until that last X is dug up and disappears off, you won't get a new set of maps. So it might be that there's one left and you're all converging, or but then it spreads out once you dig up that final X.
But you never know as well. Like you don't know whether digging up that one is going to give you more X's. Like sometimes on that island or on other, like it might give you like 4 more maps, 5 more maps, or you might get just one again. And because of that emergence in the system, this is what I say when I talking about bringing emergence in, but in the right way for competition. It's just like the background and the kind of the voyage essentially that you're going to go on is different every time, which has a ton of emergence to how it plays out.
There's just so much strategic depth and choice in this, just all the time, based on what other crews are doing or might be doing, because you can't see them. You can see their ship on the map and it's by that island that's got the X's on, but who's there? Or there might be 2 ships, and it's like, how's that playing out?
And you've often got that thing as well where you finish a match and then you're like, oh, if I'd have done this at that point or this at that point, and then you just want to jump in and have another go to try and get better and be better.
Yeah, and it definitely does mean that if you're a better team, that works out better for you than an individual. So sometimes just being the person who's amazing at repairing and going up and checking that you're steering in the right direction is an essential part of your crew.
If you don't have that, then you're you're not going to last long. I don't think someone that's really focused on that, or you're not assigning roles.
If you forget about like ship repairing, that's it, and you lose points for your ship going down as well. So some of your good work can be undone by that. But it's something that like we love about it is the fact that it does cater to these different play styles and these different roles. It's competition, but it's not all about a certain play style. Somebody being in the crow's nest and looking out for the entire match could be the difference between winning and losing, like strategizing. You know, somebody repairing is a key part of that. If you're really good at sailing, if you're really good at strategizing, if you're really good at finding where the X's are, it's not just about combat, which I think traditionally a lot of competitive games can be. So we think that this version of competition is something that can appeal to a much broader player base, which we kind of did with Adventure with Sea of Thieves in terms of multiplayer. So we're excited to see where that takes us.
Yeah, like part of my new crew bonding, even last week, like with different journalists and different players, was at the start, you're like, right, what do you specialise? You good at maps? Like, you good at that? And said, not sure. Are you steering? Yeah, I'm the steerer. Cool. You'd find out your roles.
See, this is why I came last.
This is why I'm super competitive. I'm gonna win this. But literally, we were assigning roles. And we're like, okay, we're gonna have 2 people going to islands, 2 will stay on the ship. It was like we were trying to find that balance, and it worked out all right. We didn't win all.
A good captain can be essential though. Like, sometimes people are waiting for decisions. It's like, should I fire across? Should I fire across?
Just do what you want. Not that. Basically.
So this kind of leads on from what you just said there, but Kuro Vatu on Twitch says, if you sink in an arena, are you out? And if not, why? Why not? Which is a leading question.
And if not, why not? Yeah, love it.
No, you're not out. You lose points and you can carry on. Like the ebb and flow of a match is something that's a really important like part of the rhythm. We didn't want it to be a kind of a knockout scenario. We wanted it to be you're in for 24 minutes and you feel like anything could change. It's emergent. Things could change at any moment. You could get the maps for the island that you're really close by to. Like things can turn around. So your ship sinking is not the end. Like it's bad. You lose a lot of points, but so you don't want to do that. But you can absolutely come back from that.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things as well actually is that like because you get rewards for first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Yes.
There's always an incentive to just get ahead of the crew in front of you, even if even if you're in fourth place or something, you're like, where are they? Like, who do
it's interesting. Like at first you go in for first, and then as the time ticks down, as it gets nearer, you're like, oh, let's just go for fourth. And that feels like a victory.
Yeah.
Proximo 25 on Mixer says, will Arena add the ability for us to be able to duel our teammates?
You are crewed up against other.
Yes.
Yeah. So
there's
not
still
on the plan.
you still can't kill your own crew.
Yeah.
That's right.
The crew bond is still sacred, even in competition.
Yeah, even more so.
Yeah.
Thor von Blitz on Mixer. Hi, Thor says, most importantly, how relaxing is the hot tub?
Extremely. Except when someone's being sick in it.
That's true.
Yes.
Or just splashing each other in the face with buckets of water, which seems to be what most people do in there. Which is, if I was like in a bath and someone kept doing that to me, that would not be relaxing. So, not that relaxing.
All Stanky McGee on YouTube says, will there be world leaderboards?
Not a launch. Like, I think we have to look at what stats, what kind of leaderboard and stuff makes sense. We're having conversations around that at the moment, aren't we? Around all the stats, because we know that like the arena is an area where stats and data and just kind of that competition and competitive nature is important.
It's kind of different because in Adventure, obviously, we never wanted to infer the way people would play via like exposing certain stats. So, you know, if you told people how many kills they'd had, for example, in Adventure, it could be incentivizing like one type of play over another, whereas we just wanted people to be free to play how they want to in Adventure. Whereas in Arena, it makes sense because there are points for doing certain things. It makes sense about winning. It makes sense about doing certain things. But yeah.
I desperately want to know how good I am at cannonballs and what my accuracy is. Desperately. So yeah, but it's that kind of stuff, right? That makes sense because you can track it. It's cool. It's like, and it is part of the overall experience
of Arena.
Yeah. So yeah, we are looking at that. But like leaderboards, we just have to figure out what that kind of looks like for us. What is the kind of best thing? Is it crew based or is it individual based? There's some conversations we need to have.
And Sense Meadow leading on for this on Mixer says, can you explain more in depth about how the scoring works? You clearly didn't watch the content update at the start, but you get points for just against other ships.
So you get points in Arena for digging up chests, and for like you get a large amount of points for cashing in chests. So in each arena there are two sea dog ships with big red flares coming off them. If you get to those cash in points and hand the chests in, that's where you get like a ton of points. But you do also get points for battling ships, so for hitting them with cannonballs, and you get a small amount of points for killing players as well. So it's kind of a hierarchy in that we wanted to encourage the right behaviour where there's a real kind of mix of things that you're going to see in Arena. So the priority is obviously going after the maps and getting the chests, but then if a player if a crew is at the top, like maybe you want to knock them down because they'll lose points if their ship sinks. It's the only way you can lose points as well. And the ebb and flow of that like means that it changes throughout the match as well, right? Like in terms of what you're going after at any given time.
But the balance of that scoring is what's absolutely critical to the mode feeling right.
Yes. And
what we've learnt so much through all of the testing internally and insiders, right? Like originally I think we had killing people a bit too high.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
and we played like a very miserable match where we got a lot.
Yeah, but it was like that was
it.
yeah, but that was it, but it's like cool if you kind of outdo a crew or a person or whatever, like, you know, and actually manage to kill them, you get a little reward and you feel good about it, and obviously you don't lose the time of dying, but so there is reward for it, but the focus is on the treasure is the core thing. But ship combat can be a really viable tactic at the right times against the right ships, or a reason to flee or to get away, right? If you're in the lead and you're trying to stay out and stuff, so the whole thing just ebbs and flows throughout, because like especially as the game, like, you know, the way that it works is that you kind of stay playing the same crews if you're all carry on playing. So you kind of go back to the tavern, you're in the same ship, so you've got the different ships in here, the different kind of colours and signs and stuff, and so you build up that rivalry. don't you, over time? And so even if you've won a couple of games in a row or something, and you're the predominantly red ship, then maybe in the next round they're really going to be like, that crew is not winning this time.
Which kind of happened here, right?
It did, yeah.
By the time we got to our third match, it was definitely everyone aimed for that one. They're far too good. Let's take them down.
And they still won.
Which was
And they
not
still-
me.
Yeah. but it's cool, and you build that rivalry, and we kind of get it because we work together, or because we built this thing. But I think we're going to see it out there in those kind of times. But then you've got the tavern to almost kind of have a drink and have a joke and show each other the score on the
stands on the winner's
roll.
rostrum, even if you're the loser, which is hilarious.
But because we love showing each other maps, kind of pointlessly in the game, and so now you can show each other your score.
Yeah, which is
not pointless. It's amazing for
brag rights.
for basically
Exactly.
bragging and annoying people, like just sticking that in their face in the hot tub. Brilliant.
So we've got Dirge X on Mixer says, X is so popular on these things. Will you be adding new achievements to the game with the additional content?
Yes.
Lots
There's
and
a
lots.
ton of new achievements. There's a ton of new achievements around Tall Tales, around Arena, and some stuff around all the Hunter's Call editions as well. So, yeah.
And very importantly, Kanye238 on Twitch says, can you fish in the arena?
Of course you can. It's the same world. It might not be advisable in the moment that you're in, but obviously, it's still the Sea of Thieves world. So if you want to catch a fish and you want to cook it, because maybe you want to get some extra health on the go, it could be a viable tactic.
Yeah.
Sailor John on Twitch says, is there going to be gunpowder barrels in arena, and what type of holes do they make on the ship?
Oh, and what type of holes do they make in the ship?
Yeah.
Well, so
size of holes, I guess.
so initially we don't have gunpowder barrels in Arena at launch. Again, it's just one of those things that we need to get in the right way. And in terms of what type of holes they make big holes in the ship. Yeah,
And they can cause the extra damage, right? They can destroy your
yeah.
capsule.
So we've obviously, with the expanded damage, we've got bigger holes as well now that let in more water and take longer to patch up. So gunpowder will cause big holes, and yeah, if it's close to a mast, it can take it down. If it's in the middle, it might take more than one mast down. So yeah, super cool.
But again, it's one of those features that we just need to balance, I think, individually and make it work and make sure it fits into the flow of Arena. Because again, it's a different mode. Even though it's got a lot of the same ingredients, some of those ingredients make it taste a bit odd.
I think it's just.
I couldn't think of anything.
I think it's just the
If
important.
you put the wrong ingredient into something, it tastes odd. It's all about the
That
seasoning.
metaphor went.
It's all about. That's what the final polish session is. That's the salt and the pepper.
I don't really know how to follow that, but yeah. But I think the important thing is that when we talk about making things work in Arena, it's generally a lot of the time it's about making things feel fair and feel on a level playing field for players. So emergent things in the right way.
And of course, the gunpowder barrels are obviously still an adventure. So and the ship damage is there, so you will see that stuff act out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I did have another one here.
Sorry, I've just read that one.
Yeah. Green Pirate Gaming on YouTube says, can you see other ships on your ship's map?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
100%
can.
the whole time. So you can see.
And the flags, see what colour they
see
are.
what colour they are.
Yeah, so you can see, if there's that ship you're looking at the score in the top right and they're winning and you're like, where are they? They're by the island and that's got a map. Okay, we should go and take them down. Or
It's really weird at first, right? Because it's really different because you can actually see where people are going and where they're heading, but it all just plays into that psychology of how you play, because obviously other people can see you as well, so you have to think about, do you feint? Do you pretend you're going one way but actually you're not?
And there is a lot of that.
That's a pro tactic. I've never actually pulled that off. It sounded better than it is in reality.
But it's a lot of that educated guesswork of, as much about focusing on what you're doing, you've got to focus on what the other crews are doing.
Yeah.
And so knowing where the maps were, where the X's were, and where they're disappearing from, and a ship is by that island. Okay, cool. So if they're there and the map's just disappeared from that island, they've obviously dug stuff up.
Yeah.
And where's the nearest kind of cash-in point? Maybe we should head towards that before they get moving. Yeah. So
And we tell you as well when other crews dig chests up, so you know which team has dug them up as well.
yeah, doesn't mean they've still got them.
No.
Because somebody
Yeah.
may have stolen
But
them.
it's,
But
just,
you get
it's about giving you just the right amount of information to piece a strategy together.
So 2 Slow RL on Twitch says, will there be Devil's Roar maps in the arena, and if so, will the volcanoes be going off?
So interestingly, we tried Devil's Roar maps in the arena, and the volcanoes were going off, but it was a little bit too much for arena. So there's some work we need to do around being able to balance the Devil's Roar kind of separately for the arena mode versus the adventure mode, with everybody compacted into a small space in that 24 minutes. It just didn't feel like the right balance. So we loved it, like it's got great promise, and we want to kind of like bring it back in the future, but we want to balance it slightly differently. So no, but yes.
Again, Sense Metal again on Mixer says, will storms and fog make an appearance in the arena?
They do. Yes.
They do indeed, and it's really cool to make a tactical choice, isn't it? To sail into one and see if a ship follows you or stuff. It's like, but then you can look on the map and like you can follow people through the fog and stuff, but you've still obviously got to look out for islands.
Yeah.
So
Or
it's
absolute chaos when you start off and you're in a storm.
yeah, oh totally, yeah. And it's just like,
You're already patching up at the very start.
Yeah.
It's great though. It just feels right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a mix-up essentially on that you load in, and you almost forget that it can happen, right? Because it's quite infrequent, and then when it does, it's really cool.
Because this guy asked so nicely, Celeb Play Sea of Thieves on Twitch says, how many supplies will the ship start out with?
Caleb.
Oh, I read that. Celeb.
You're famous now, Caleb.
Yeah. Caleb Play Sea of Thieves. Sorry, Caleb.
Sorry, what's the question? How do you
start out with? Please.
Loads and loads. So in arena, like. We kind of wanted the ethos to be, obviously players can go onto islands, they can gather more resources, but we wanted the ethos to be that when you lose the ship, like it's more about you as a crew perhaps not working together quite so well, more often than it would be you actually ran out of resources. So you start with a ton of resources in arena.
Someone says, please do this one, John. Indian Catcher 23 on Twitch says, how does the stream affect the NDA? Can items now be discussed on other streams?
So how does this stream have to come out like an item? It's a good question. So I think I don't even know the answer. Like
I guess if we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I think they're saying if we've talked about things, can they then talk about their?
Yeah. I think the stuff that I'm super kind of cautious, like anything to do with tall tales, but like the NDA. So the NDA is still in place basically.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't really be discussing things that you've seen or not seen. Like. The NDA still does exist, right? So, because there is going to be stuff we're trying out, things that we've taken out, like.
Yeah, we are still in Insiders. We're still making final changes and balance buses and things now.
Yeah, so I think, kind of like I know it can be a bit weird, a bit difficult, right? But like yes, we're talking about it, and yes, we've had press interplay, and that's specifically the stuff that they're going to talk about will come out. But the NDA is still in place for us up until we go to launch on the 30th. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, I know it's kind of hard because you're in this place where you know loads of stuff and you don't quite know what to say. But if in doubt, exercise caution.
Yes. And if you do want to post anything and you are an insider, please go to the Insider forums and you can chat as much as you want in there about feedback and stuff on there. EG Gamer on Twitch says, can we use robots in arena? Or robots?
Robots, no. So again, it's very similar to Gunpowder in that we love the idea of robots in arena, but for now we've taken them out until we find the right way of getting them in.
And Ranma.
I did swim a chest, by the way, from an island all the way across to a cash-in point the other day. Like fought off a couple of sharks and got it cashed in, but it was worth it. Like that 4 minutes or whatever was worth it. It was 1,000 silver.
Didn't make a very entertaining, watchable experience.
No,
swimming for 6 minutes.
I was looking at the camera occasionally because I knew you'd just be watching me. Trying to make it interesting, but yeah, it was like
Ranma Twitch said, or Ranma Twitch on Twitch says, how long are the matches timed for?
24 minutes, which is seems like an odd choice. 24, right? Why not 25? But 24 minutes is a Sea of Thieves day. So in Sea of Thieves, 1 minute is an hour. So if you use your pocket watch in the game, like every 1 minute is an hour ticking over. So one Sea of Thieves day just felt like poetically just.
Yeah, and you'll see the time.
Right amount of time.
Time's on the screen. audio changes as you get closer to the
Yeah,
end.
so like the last couple of minutes, you've got like audio build-up, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And like didn't we hand a chest in on like the last second?
Like
on
yeah,
one of the,
like yeah, it was amazing.
It's really cool with the music. Like,
because because the time only goes in minutes, doesn't it? So when it says a minute left, you don't know how long it is, right? But the music's starting to build up, so you can kind of know when it's starting to get right towards the end. And so it's that super tensive. Am I going to get it in? And then we did.
And you do.
And then we did.
We did.
Or don't.
Heroic.
and then the guy we were playing with in the tavern said, "This guy really sounds like Joe Neat."
Oh yeah, that was great. We played it Insiders, didn't we? And we used kind of development
it was that
gamer
match
tags.
where we just done that. We were all talking about it
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, it's like you
Yeah,
sound a
kinda
lot like
kinda
Joe Neat. I was like.
So last question here. All Coop on Twitch says, will nameplates be very visible in the arena because because that can make it even harder with them seeing you 100 meters away and you're trying to fight them in the water?
So yeah, the nameplates in Arena are the same as Adventure, and we've been looking at that and taking feedback on that with Insiders. We don't think there's an issue with it how it stands, but of course we'll keep looking at that. And
Sweet. Well, after that, that's us going to round this up. So thank you very much for watching. If you've been tuning into this stream, if you just did catch us halfway through, it will be straight up on YouTube after this, and we will be replaying it on loop on Twitch and Mixer for you. We're just going to show you the content update again for anyone who missed it at the very start. But just thank you very much to you folks out there, and thanks to Joe and Shelley for joining us on the stream. And remember, we're going to be at TwitchCon in Berlin on Saturday, so if you're there, come say hi. We'll all be at the booth, and we'll be streaming from there. So if you're a content creator and you want to stream from there, get in touch with us, and we can book you in for that. And if you just want to play, we have 12 booths there as well for you to just come and play on. Next week's stream is on Tuesday, not Wednesday. And we will be discussing everything about the Hunter's Call. So that's a new company that's coming into the game, and we'll be talking about fishing, cooking, and the harpoon gun. So please do tune in for that. But until then, here's the content update again, and thank you very much for watching.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Welcome to the arena! An all-new competitive mode that lets you dive headfirst into the explosive action of Sea of Thieves, as you and your crew battle against 4 other teams of players, in pursuit of a glorious victory. In this frantic new mode, the Sea Dogs have created an arena in which you have to earn as much silver as you can, as you fight your way towards the top spot. And in the arena, you'll have to play smart to best your rivals. At the beginning of each contest, every crew is given the same set of maps that will lead them to the location of buried treasure. But finding the treasure first is only half the battle. You'll have to get it back to the Sea Dog's ship before you can reap the rewards. So while you can slaughter your way to victory, some tactical treasure hunting could prove very profitable. As you fend off attacks from other players, you'd be wise to keep a close eye on your ship too. Grab some planks and get ready to repair, as ships can now receive damage to their wheel, capstan, and masts. And if your ship sinks, your crew can kiss some of their silver coins goodbye. Battle hard and overcome your rivals, and you'll grow your reputation with the Sea Dogs. And as you sharpen your skills in the arena, you'll unlock a whole host of new cosmetics, including weapons, items, clothing, and a new ship livery. So if you're ready to show the world your best, then join us in the arena, part of the Sea of Thieves anniversary update, launching April 30th. Cheers!